Have you met the new defense coordinator yet?
I haven't met him yet. I talked to him brief, and just super excited for his accomplishments and things he's accomplished, and can't wait to get on the same page, get ready to work. So.
Have you talked to any Eagles about the scheme and the kind of coach he is at all, or I don't know if you have any?
Not really. I haven't kind of really had a chance to really do my research and different things like that on him, and just enjoy him. I know the Cowboys do a great job with hiring. I know Coach Schotty do a great job of bringing people in with the same mindset that he have, and to do the things that he know that we can do on defense to win football games with the talent that we do have. So.
What have they told you about the scheme and how it's going to run, and maybe how it affects the guys up front?
Like I said, it was very brief. And I haven't kind of really had much in the course when it come down to talk to them about that. But it's going to be dope to be able to get a chance to talk to them and get a chance to learn. So,
okay, thank you, man.
Thank you.
It's official like a whistle. KELZ new defensive coordinator is in the building. The Parker presser today. In case you missed it, we're here to recap. Let's listen to his opening remarks, KELZ, and then I want to grab your reaction and we'll kick this show off. So y'all come in and get comfortable. Listen to your new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, on what it's like to come to Dallas.
As you could tell, there was an aligned vision for what they wanted in the position, where we wanted to go forward. Obviously, a great deal of respect for not only the organization, but the players involved on the team, having been in division for the past 2 years and having different times going against them. Significant offensive firepower, stayed up a lot of late nights trying to prepare for. So it always helps when you have a franchise quarterback and offensive skill players on that side of the ball that can control the game for you. But I think the biggest thing was just the alignment. You could feel from everybody in the building during those interactions that there was a shared vision involved and people wanted to move forward in the right direction.
How's that song go, KELZ? Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. The Fountain of Youth has arrived in Dallas for all the Cowboy fans that would always say, I wish we had a younger coach. Man, look, there was a couple of gems Christian Parker dropped in today's conversation. I know you watched it. I watched it. We're here to give y'all our recap. So if you watched it, chime in the comments below. We're live on 3 channels. We're live on Facebook. Shout out to all of the Build Different group, Green Badge supporters supporting the content today. Shout out to everybody on LinkedIn, all of the professionals over there on LinkedIn, Jason Cavness, the Military Creator Con, everybody over there. You know, my girls, y'all know each other through them sororities and all that. Jason Cavness, right? Yeah. And shout out to everybody on YouTube over there, all of the subs. We're live on StreamYard on 3 platforms talking about the Christian Parker hire. I mean, what's your initial thoughts, KELZ?
I love it. I was one of them that said that, we do need a younger coach that one can relate to the players, that know the upgrading, if you want to say, nuances of how this game of football is played, someone that is relatable to what we have. So he dropped so many nuggets at this press conference.
I knew he was for real. Like, he understands the assignment in Dallas, because he admitted during his presser that being a coach on the Eagles staff, he watched The Gambler on Netflix, KELZ. He said he was doing some homework.
Yeah, I mean, who would? I mean, I know I'm probably a few episodes behind. I think I
haven't watched it all yet either, so you're not the only one.
I stopped on episode 5, so it's what? How many in the series? 8?
Yeah.
Is 8, I believe.
I think it's 7 or 8 episodes, something like that. Yeah,
so I got to watch episodes 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, I just thought that was quite unique that he shared that, because I knew those questions were going to come. They asked him what it was like taking it off the green and putting on the blue. But y'all let us know what stood out to you in the comments below. Shout out to everybody commenting on the Christian Parker presser. So, KELZ, what stood out the most to you? I mean, did he drop any nuggets that you grabbed that be like, oh, I didn't know that, or hey, I like what I hear?
Well, we already kind of dropped the what kind of scheme he was going to run. But when he said the word multiples, then I was like, oh, okay. So he was talking about not only, his primary base will be a 3-4. But when he said he's going to mix some 4-3, some hold on, let me go to it because I do have the
Yeah, I
quote
mean, just the way he was breaking things down. Like, I honestly,
down.
I just
Yeah.
want to say this. I learned
That's
more
it.
from Christian Parker in one interview than I did from Matt Eberflus for a whole season.
Right. So when he was talking about a 4-3 spacing, a 4-2-5 in nickel, I was like, okay. And then he said he's going to add like a 6 front to it. I was like, okay. I like
Yeah, you know, I mean, clearly you can tell he's in the weeds per se, but this guy articulating his vision already, you know.
Yeah.
That's a total 180 than what we were just dealing with.
Yeah.
But they got to make it look good. It sounds good right now, but we know they need to make it look good. But man, you have got to be optimistic.
And I think with the thing with him, like, and it's still the same with Flus. Well, no, Flus was more so when he was originally with us, he was just a particular, like, a linebacker coach. But I did see some of Flus stuff when he was with Indianapolis and Chicago and everything. I think the thing with CP is that if you really know football and everything,
like X's and O's,
the X's and O's, we saw what his game planning was like when he was with Green Bay. And well, I mean,
he admitted there on the intro, KELZ, that he had to, you know, he lost a lot of sleep preparing for this high octane offense in Dallas.
Right. And like I said, see, I know him from college because, you know, he came from the HBCU rounds after leaving University of Richmond, where he matriculated at. But I've seen how he schemes and how he coaches when he was with Virginia State University, which is a CIAA school, and then he went down the road to Little State, which is Norfolk State, and he was in the same position. And I saw how he game plan and scheme, especially in the MEAC division. That's where Norfolk State resides in. And then he went into the league, and I saw what he was doing with Green Bay. And then, of course, we all saw what he did with Denver, when, like I said, he effed us up with no lube and snatched Patrick Surtain from us, you know. So
yeah, he's young, but a lot of folks don't realize he's got like 12 years of coaching experience. So yeah, he's not had any coordinator opportunities, but the guy's clearly got the brains. This is obviously his opportunity to shine.
Yeah. Dang, it's been 12 years. Ooh.
I think so, if I remember reading that correctly. So I was surprised too, because when you look at Denver and then Philly, like, okay, but then now you're talking about Green Bay.
But then add the other other components. So yeah, it has been 12 years. So
yeah, so he's got a lot of experience. You can hear it in his language. That's what I heard. That's what I said. I learned more in this first interview with CP than I ever did with Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, and
ever.
Yeah, and that 12-year span does start with Virginia State University. So like I said, I have more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Resource, I guess you want to say research purposes. I'm very familiar with him. I have more familiarity with him outside of the league than most people do. So
KELZ with the intels.
So I've seen his body of work. So when we did the show when we first got the defensive coordinator, that's why I say I really know him from the HBCU realm. And like I said, him and Marcus Dixon, who we did hire a couple of weeks ago, they're going to bring some of that HBCU flair of football to the Dallas Cowboys. Not saying that we never had it, because we have always had it. It's just that it's not as prevalent as what it used to be, where we had a lot of HBCUs within the building. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see it. He did take a little he did like a 1-2 uppercut to Flus, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, there was a couple of other things that he did said that stuck out. But shout out to Smack Talk, our special guest this Sunday. That's right, at 7 p.m. on the West Coast. We're going to be talking about linebackers. He is in the building. He will be live with us on Sunday. He says, I think CP has what the Dallas Cowboys have needed for 10 plus years. You ain't lying.
Yeah.
I mean, because my question to you is, KELZ, like he's a brand new coach. He's got the brains. It seems obviously he's got some experience. I mean, we always see turnover in the locker rooms. How fast do you think this defensive side of the ball will, click with Parker, so to speak?
I think it's going to click. I think it's going to click really well. And I do agree with that. And I'm just imagining now when you say with somewhere within 10 years, imagine if we had him and Chris Richard at the same time. Oh, that
speaking of what, I know Aiden Dirty was obviously up here with the Seattle Seahawks, who were officially up for sale today, in case you did not know. But then also, who was the other one? Aiden Dirty, and then Richard. Where's Richard at now? Is he coaching somewhere on another team?
A good question.
If anybody knows, let us know in the comments below. I'm curious. I know he may be out there somewhere, but yeah, Aiden Dirty from the UK. Yeah, we let him get away, especially with Tank. But maybe the days of letting talent go in Dallas are gone because this young youth movement, KELZ, maybe they're going to start learning something in here and getting some things going. Because if we just go from the worst defense to the middle of the pack, that's a significant improvement, especially for first-time defensive coordinator. Would you agree?
Yeah, and here's another thing. I don't know if anyone caught what was being put down, but like I kept saying, I've been commenting on a few podcasts. There was one particular person that was not there.
Yeah, great that you bring that up. None of the brass was there. It was just Coach Schotty and Christian Parker. Oh, what a relief it is. Even the media was bringing it up. Hey, isn't this been 2 in a row Jerry hasn't been at?
And didn't I put that out there yesterday?
Yeah, you sure did. Yeah, we're just reminding everybody here for the, because, Cowboy fans got a 10 span about 5 minutes and the memory short lost even longer. But, yeah.
Did I not say the only 2 that was going to be there was CP and Shot? And who was there?
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad that Jerry's maybe gotten out of his own way. If you're happy you didn't hear from Jerry today, it was refreshing. Let us know in the comments below if you caught it. But in case you didn't know yet, Jerry wasn't there. Steven, even Will wasn't there.
Just say thanks, Kelly, for making a phone call to see who's going to be at the presser.
Well, thanks, Kelly, for making a phone call to see who's going to be at the presser. Y'all give KELZ her flowers here today. And she's bringing us this insight and intel today with our new defensive coordinator. But, yeah, just Schotty and Christian Parker. Oh, what a relief it is.
But not to take, like I said, I do like to listen. And this
here we go. Shout out to YouTube, KELZ. We got a Chris Richard sighting, current DC at the Stanford Cardinals.
Okay.
Shout out to Mike Aldana, 8012 on YouTube. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to all the subs over there.
Because I was like, dang, he's almost like Sean Lee. Went ghost real quick.
I know he must have been somewhere. I mean, he was a great mind, and I think he was just too early in Dallas, Yeah.
And I think he was, honestly, I do think if we had Chris Richard right now, he will fit right in. I think Chris Richard came a little bit too.
Yeah, he was just a little early before this whole, let's accept that we don't need a bunch of old guys in here. Let's get some youth like everybody else because we're getting out schemed.
Yeah, and then, Chris Parker, and one thing I do know, Chris Parker, he does like to be in some cleats. So we're going to see that again because Chris Richard was probably the only person since. We haven't had anyone since Chris Richard. No, Dan Quinn had cleats. I take that back. So, I like to see coaches put the cleats on and get right there grim and grimy with the players. Chris Richard, like I said, he was very good with Dallas, but he has passion and everything. He will get into the players' behinds if need be, but I don't think Jerry liked that.
Yeah, I think he contrasted too much with Jason Garrett over there clapping away and doing those type of things.
It wasn't so much of Jason Garrett. It was so much more of of Jerry Jones did not like that.
You know, one thing that Christian Parker that was asked by the media today that did stand out. I like how he answered the question. It wasn't what he answered with, but how he answered with. More importantly, they asked him on the sideline or up in the booth, have you and Shotty discussed that? What is going to be your take, or where are you going to be on that? He said, yeah, Shotty and I have both talked about that already. We're talking about some things, but there's no commitment there yet, so I can't answer that technically. And I thought, great question. He's always been on the ground. Has he not been with Philly and Denver and those places?
I've seen him both. I've seen him in the box, and I've seen him on the field.
So he's got capabilities in both. I mean, what would you, with what insight that you know about him outside of the league and his coaching acumen, KELZ? I mean, do you got the intel on where he might be? Can you make a phone call?
I don't know. Honestly, he might do. Honestly, because
maybe he's the first to kind of do both, or do teams actually do that? I've never really looked at that. Is there always just certain coordinators just coach from the roof and some from the field, or they're like these hybrids out there? They do it all the time.
Yeah, some prefer the booth because they can actually see what's going on instead of like being on the field and it's just like a straight view.
Right.
The booth does provide an aerial view of what's going on the field. Yeah. I think it's up to the coach's preference. But like I said, with CP, I have seen him both in the booth and I've seen him both on the field.
Nice. Well, Mike is tapping back in from YouTube. He says Shotty and CP wanted to have those hard conversations, right? I heard that as well. He said before having the introductory press conference. What type of hard conversations do you think they're alluding to there, KELZ? Any context on that? Shout out to Mike. Great question on YouTube.
I think it's some of the conversations that took place in as far as with the interview process, because like I said, you know,
which they said he was like the last guy and he brought all the juice because Shotty, I think he said they were doing like 8 hours of Zoom interviews, and here comes this guy at the end and like supercharges them, and that really stood out to him.
Yeah, he was one of the last ones. He was one of the last ones to be interviewed.
Yeah, they talked about it there on the presser. So, yeah, I mean, you know, outside of that, I mean, the guy, you could clearly hear it in his language. But, yeah, back to that question.
Yes, but yeah, women. Yeah.
The hard conversations, you know.
I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, how he's going to scheme up this team. What are some of the pros and cons? Like I said, he basically said he saw some of the weaknesses that the Cowboys was having on defense, and he used it to his advantage. That's how he was able to scheme.
Yes.
On our offense. And he knows, I mean, yeah, granted, Dak Prescott, he did improve a little bit on the cover six scheme, but that has always been like an Achilles heel, especially when it comes to like a Vic Fangio's or Brian Flores.
Yeah, which he was also asked, was he going to bring any Eagles over? And he kind of skirted away from that question. I like how the reporters were really trying to peel that Philadelphia Eagle thing back.
Yeah, I think because a lot of the players, those contracts have yet to expire. I know one of the Eagles players, his contract really don't expire until the first day of the new league year, which is March 11th. So a lot of that is still like legal tampering. Now, let's say if the Eagles released a player, you could go ahead and say that name, but I don't think he wants to bring that name out there because that's given, the Cowboys really want to bring him even though he's been even though he's been released. Let me go ahead and snatch this player up. So
Speaking of releases, you know, the Dallas Cowboys released a new article on their official website today talking about running back Javonte Williams. Shout out to Patrick Walker on there, which alluded down into the bottom. Like, could we really see a Javonte Williams go elsewhere? Because, you know, Patrick Nosey is, hey, these are some folks that are out there like Rico Dowdle, Travis Etienne, Rashard White. As we know, he's got to get his new agent, and all of this contract talk is coming up. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Kels? Do you see Javonte going to another team, or are we going to do all we can to try to keep him here in the house?
I think we're going to do what we can to keep him in-house. But, I mean, and it's sad to say, but shout out to Saquon Barkley, because it was a point in time where the value for a running back kind of.
Oh yeah, remember the whole devaluation of the running back market and all that. But they're saying, I think Patrick
Barkley brought it back to, basically say that the running back position is still viable to this day.
Well, here's the value that Patrick is saying, the current running back market is at. If you take a look at it right there, he's saying about 7.8 million annually.
Yeah, I mentioned that a few shows ago that's where the sweet spot for.
Could we see a return of Rico come back for less money? I mean, Carolina's letting Rico go. He's a free agent, obviously. I'll share this link down in the comments below so that way y'all can read through it. But I mean, are we really gonna have to try to deal with this? Like Javonte and this whole. We already got to deal with George Pickens.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what the front office is going to do. Like I said, right now we're still in the window for the franchise tag. I never expected for the Cowboys to do something on the first day, because we really don't.
Yeah, we don't ever do anything early. We don't ever do anything early.
We really don't tag on the first day. It only happened a couple of times, but
I mean, imagine being Kenneth Walker in Seattle and winning a ring and being an MVP, and now he's a free agent, and they kind of leaked it that we're not going to tag him, so to speak. I mean,
yeah, because he's
pretty thuggish, ruggish bone out in them streets, Kels.
Yeah, but he's we're talking about $14 million for him.
Right. Well, it's not like we already got enough to talk about, especially with GP, but we're talking about Christian Parker, and it's got to be exciting. We got a real defensive coordinator, Kels.
Yeah.
Like, we got real DC vibes going on. Woo, Matt Eberflus is out of there.
Yeah, it's, I can't wait. I really can't wait. I think one of the things that's kind of disheartening a little bit is Trayvon Diggs would have flourished so much with Christian Parker.
Yeah, all of that with Eberflus, with Micah Parsons, like everything we came into the season with thinking we had, and then we lost 2 defenders. Now we've lost a whole total defensive coordinator. It's a big change over there now. But I think with this youth of Christian Parker, I'm hoping he can capture this locker room or his defensive side of the ball very quickly, because that was one of the things Shotty had talked about, being able to teach the players, like teach them. And I don't feel like Flus was teaching nobody anything. And yeah, very unfortunate for Trey.
Yeah. Trey would have done so well with him. But speaking of Flus, the Athletics writer John Machota asked him what makes a great teacher. And he said, I think you have to know the student first and foremost. You have to know who you're talking to. What might hit one player's brain is going to hit different in another. Being thorough, being detailed, being clear and concise in terms of your messaging. He also said when to correct, when not to correct. Sometimes players got to touch the stove
to know that it's hot. Yeah,
you just want to do it in a controlled environment. And then he mentioned something else about when he expanded on some of his methods. He said the diversity of teaching, whether it's on the field, in the meeting room, Kahoot quizzes, physical quizzes, showing them video examples, having them teach in front of a room. There's so many different ways that you can get in the weeds of teaching schemes, techniques, situational awareness, and you really just want to expose players to as many different examples because it's going to hit everybody differently. I loved what he said about that as far as the philosophy. So that was kind of like a 1-2 jab to Flus.
Well, how about a 1-2 round one, pick 12, pick 20 defensive pick for this guy? I mean, could it unfold? He get 2 studs out of the first round to add what we got already. Quinn and Osa, Kenny. Can you believe they're talking about trading Kenny Clark? Like all the defense we're gonna have minus Trey and Micah.
I keep seeing that they say it will say 21.5 million of cap space and all stuff, but people is forgetting that Kenny Clark is attached to a poison pill on a contract or a trade.
Yeah, I know you would be able to offer some context here, but all things given, going in there, if we get 2 first-round defensive picks, like somebody on that corner and somebody like, you said no linebackers, but we're talking about that this Sunday. But imagine him getting 2 first-round picks, getting 2 things off the grocery list as a brand new DC in Dallas. Woo.
I would love it. And like I said, and one thing he did mention in his presser, and he said when it comes to, and this is what I was saying, you take that Flus did not do, you tailor your game plans based on the teams we're playing. So he said if he knows that he's getting ready to come up on a team that requires more man, he's going to play man. If we come up on a team that's going to play more zone, then that's what we're going to do. That basically saying that when he comes into this draft, and I already told you what he's planning on doing, he is looking at hybrids. He's looking at cornerbacks that play both play both man and zone as far as the quarterbacks. So
yeah, I like his philosophy. He said stop the run, get to the quarterback, because if you stop the run, you're gonna get to the quarterback. And I'm like, man, that's like, see, dropping some bars up in here, KELZ. Like that makes too much sense. Using players and their strengths to the opponent and all that type of stuff. Sterling says team draft a Woodson. I'm with it.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about that when we talk about the cornerbacks, because we do have some prospects that have a J. Lou style as well as a Woodson style.
We'll be talking that after linebackers. So cornerbacks right after linebackers. We got linebackers this Sunday. We got our special guest going to be joining us. Smack Talk was live here. Get ready. He's a creator over on Facebook. He's going to be bringing the heat. So we're welcoming Smack Talk over here. Come talk this smack about this linebacker, because you said this draft is deep in linebackers, but you're edging on the side of caution about drafting a rookie and putting him in this unit and maybe trying to get, a free agent maybe on March 11th during free agent frenzy. Is there any particular linebackers out there now on the free agency market you got your eye on?
It's a couple.
If you guys do in the comments, let us know below what linebacker free agents are out there that Dallas maybe should go and get, because we still got free agency. That's before the draft.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not opposed to drafting a linebacker.
No, but you brought up a great point. We don't want to put all of that weight, especially on that unit coming in on this team right now, or maybe
if we were to address like a veteran, like a veteran need, then I'm okay with bringing in a linebacker, and maybe not so much 12, but definitely like if we stick and pick with 20.
If it's deep, and we get one down at 20 with. Mike is tapping in. He says, we got to take care of business like what you talked about on BPA. The free agency has to be done right to create the BP opportunity.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mike tapping in.
Because we definitely talked about that Sunday when we was talking about how BPA works.
Well, we know that Dallas likes to kick things down the road. Now, we haven't seen Jerry out here, and, there's all kind of weird things going on. I mean, could the Cowboys get in the mix, not signing our own guys like Brandon Aubrey and GP? Well, I don't know, maybe GP being aggressive as soon as that opens up. But I mean, do you see Dallas getting aggressive as soon as the free agency window opens?
That I hope so, because I know I'm gonna replay the end of the season presser that had Will McClay, Shotty, Jerry, and I want to say Steven was up there too on the dais. You know, I like Shotty. Shotty got a slick tongue, and if you can't catch it when it happened, you get like, wait a minute, what he just say? Because he's smooth with it. He basically kind of told Jerry indirectly told Jerry what he don't want to happen, because Shotty's been there long enough to know. He said basically, I do not want to go vanilla in free agency. I want to be aggressive when it comes to getting players to fill the holes that we need. Well, I'm not talking about depth, but we need to be aggressive. And it's been I think honestly,
imagine that. When's the last time we heard that coming out from a head coach in Dallas? Like, hey,
Parcells,
this is what I want to do, Jura.
Bill Parcells.
It's been a while.
And actually did it.
Man, this is scary, KELZ. I mean, they let him go out and pick his staff. Now they let him go out there and get these free agency groceries that we need before going into the draft. Oh, boy, I'm starting to get excited a little bit here. It could be our year, maybe. Well, at least if we get up to the middle of the pack on defense, we might be able to make the playoffs. But got to feel good, got to feel optimistic, especially the guy coming in articulating, stop the run and get to the quarterback. Seems pretty simple.
Yeah.
And you stop the quarterback if you stop the run, or you get to the quarterback, you stop. So, we're going to see what he's going to do, and we're going to see what they're going to do in this draft. But more importantly, like you said, we'll see how free agency shapes up for this BPA opportunity as we get ready to talk about linebackers here this week. So anything else that stuck out to you about our new defensive coordinator? Or any insight that you'd like to share about him?
Well, I do know that he comes from a family of all boys. It's actually 3. I thought it was 4 of them, but it's actually 3. But like I said, what I can tell you, I have seen him on the field. Like I said, from the HBCU standpoint, I have seen what he does on the field. Like when Virginia State comes to Howard, or Norfolk State comes to Howard. I've seen him both times during those years. He's been
pretty consistent. He's been pretty same coach.
And even though he looks like mild-mannered and everything, this man, he's a menace. He's a menace. He is a member of the Divine Nine, which I am, and he's a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, as well as another coach that we just got, Ryan Smith, Ryan Smith came from the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I like how he was handling the media. He just basically relaxed. Quick sudden reactions or anything like that. None of the media startled him, and total confidence.
Yeah, he commands the room. That's one thing about Christian Parker that I does like. Whatever room he steps in, he commands the room.
Sterling says it right there. CP is built different. I got you, big dog. But he gonna put that D back in. He gonna put that D back in D. I see you, Sterling. I see what you did.
I'm trying to read his other comment. I can't wait to get into these draft picks. And Revel
at safety. He's asking maybe is Revel gonna be playing safety?
He's a zone. He was one of the only zone cornerbacks that Flus had, but he wasn't ready for this season. If anything, they need to move Reddy Stewart out of the cornerback room because he is a strong safety. Reddy Stewart is a strong safety, so he needs to move out of cornerback into safety. We need to be aggressive in the free agency.
Imagine the Cowboys taking cornerback at 12 and 20. Stranger things can happen, huh?
Yeah,
we got 8 picks. Do you think we're going to use more of those 8 picks? You think we're going to use more of those 8 picks on the defensive side of the ball or the offensive side of the ball?
I think it's going to be, honestly, I think it's going to be majority defense. I would not be
Yeah, I'll be
surprised.
interested to see how this plays out, because that'll
Yeah.
kind of tell us where their priorities are at. You know what I mean? Because Stephen Jones, like we said, we kicked off the BPA. There was a reason why I wanted to kick that the way we did, because he brought up a valid point that that year CD was drafted, they were looking at defense initially, but here comes CD Lamb, and so a BPA scenario happened. But you know, it's going to be curious to see. I think they're going to go heavy on the defensive side too. Let us know down in the comments below, out of the 8 picks, how many picks do you think they're going to go defense?
Yeah. This NFC East is going to be, it's probably like, it's probably going to be like the 2024 season as far as the NFC East, because we did have more wins in 2024 than we did last year. Yeah, it's going to be very different because Washington, they got a new defensive coordinator. One of the guys that we was looking at, Durante Moore. So that's going to be the new DC. They got some other new people in the building. They still need a lot of help. They definitely going to go younger, because Washington had one of the oldest rosters last year throughout the league. And plus some of their players that are still young and still in their prime, a lot of them were injured last year. So they're going to come back healthy, and they're going to fill in some of those pieces. The Eagles is definitely going to do a complete turnaround, because they're going to lose a lot of players as well. New
They
York
did lose Christian Parker, and it looks like screw the Eagles. Let's talk about this type of players. I know you shared this here on Built Different Group, I believe, yesterday. In case you missed it, you can check the timeline. Here's the type of players Christian Parker is favoring when it comes to DN, linebacker, cornerback, and safety. This is great intel right here. Win one-on-one matchups with technical block shedding. Talking about defensive end, strong edge setters to prevent outside runs, maintain disciplined rushing lanes, drop back in coverage. Yeah, it seems like he's a tactician, like he's really going to be holding folks, because I know folks that are tacticians, man, they ain't with the bullshit. Like you said, he may command the room, but if you ain't with the battle plan, this whole mantra of competing, I'm sure him and Shotty see eye to eye, and that may be some of them hard conversations like, look, if we ain't getting 100% out of these guys, they not on the field.
Yeah, and then one thing about him too, like I've mentioned before with CP, he creates a lot of confusion for not only the opposing offensive line, but as well as the quarterback. His pre-snap is totally different from his off snap. His post snap. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna take a sound bite and post it later. But on one of the Cowboys shows that they did, and they focused on Christian Parker's what he does, and Isaiah Stanback did a good play-by-play of how he create these confusions. Now the thing is, it's hard for an opposing team to game plan against CP, because what you saw him do with another team, he's not going to.
It ain't going to be the same like the vanilla stuff
the confusion
we've always seen in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
So his whole when a rookie comes in and they do good, and then what's the next thing we say when we get a player? For like the following season that's coming up. Oh, we got film on them. Yeah, you got film on CP, but it's going to be hard for you to try to distinguish.
This guy probably watches film and knows you watch his film, and probably prepares to know that you watch film, that he's going to not do what you see on film. So
right, because every confusion is different.
Clip that. For sure, for sure, for sure. What up, Top? We see you in the building. So if y'all hear me say clip that, I'm not losing my mind. It's really going to mess it up. But shout out to StreamYard. If you've been seeing our reels from our shows being posted here, especially from KELZ, we're clipping that. So it automatically clip for us when we finish the show. So now I'm probably going to have 100 clips now that I said clip 100 times. But you get the point. But I like the fact that we got some new excitement before we even signed anybody. And we still got contracts to do. We still got money in the bank. We still got restructured. We still got picks coming.
We have released one player so far.
Is it still the same player you mentioned yesterday?
It's still Ernest Brown. I haven't heard.
Yeah, Ernest Brown.
Yeah, he went to the Tennessee Titans, so he's going to be with Aaron Whitecotton. Honestly, I could see that. I can honestly see that because Aaron Whitecotton, he definitely worked well with Ernest Brown. So I could see him snatching him up. I just don't want, as much as I love Bones Fossil, I don't want him to try to get butter. But I'm excited to see, like I said, I've seen CP's body of work from the HBCU days. So I can't wait. Wait a minute. What did he say? Let me close that out. Built around. Yep. And that's one thing I love. He talked so much about fundamentals and everything.
I mean, this sums it up right here. I mean, he had me at, you want to highlight it around their strengths.
Hello.
Like, you know, you talked about the Trayvon situation. Yeah, it was very unfortunate under Eberflus. He had two things working against him, that injury and Eberflus. It didn't help him that he didn't have a coach that was trying to maybe work around his strengths, because I didn't hear Matt Eberflus talk about any of this detailed stuff that Christian Parker talked about today, especially when it comes to coaching, you know, his side of the ball and interacting and teaching and, you know, leading his players.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, I would have loved to see Diggs working under this scheme. Let's say, had we had Christian Parker last year, even though we know that,
man, if we'd had Christian Parker with Dak in that offense last year, it would be might be 2.0 like position predictions this year, KELZ.
Yeah, it would have been something. Like, I mean, granted, I mean, the offense, I mean, we had a good season offensively, but it didn't make whatever Dak did. Like, the defense didn't help Dak.
Yeah, no, it didn't help Dak's campaign as being an MVP. I understand 100% because fans still say Dak is padding stats, and those are just casuals. So shout out to all the casuals that are tapping in here today. My real ones, they know exactly what we're talking about. Because if Christian comes in and gets this to the middle, to the top 10 of the defenses in the league, and we're in the top 5 offenses, Dallas might be a problem this coming season.
Yeah. Joseph, we already talked about Marcus Dixon. That was a very good pickup. I mentioned that weeks ago. As far as with him, he is an alum of the Cowboys. He played with us from 2008 to 2010.
That's one of the position coaches we hired, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was that's what I said. Like I said, he's been in the league since what? He went to Green Bay in what, 2017, 2018. Dak was like year 2 in the league. So he's been in the league the same amount of time that Dak has been in the league. So we played Green Bay during those times. We played the Broncos during those times.
Yeah, Christian Parker said even with the Eagles, he lost sleep preparing for Dak and this offense.
Yeah.
Top brings up a great point talking about the penalties. Yes, the Cowboys led the league in penalties. I think with this new coaching regime, I think it's going to fix itself.
And you know what?
I think they'll get the discipline down. There'll be some more accountability there as a whole. I think the overall accountability as a team trying to move forward as a unit will trickle down, and we'll see maybe less. We can't lead 2 years in a row. That'll be crazy. But yeah, we've got to come off that penalties. But I think the new coaching staff and teaching and getting everybody on the same page, I think that's going to fix itself this season.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it's two things that I did pick up. Three things. When it comes to the penalties, unless they said the question and I missed it, I wanted to see how he was going to address as far as like minimizing the penalties. I'm not saying we're going to have a perfect season with no penalties, but as far as
they love to throw flags if you listen to some folks on Dallas, which
and sometimes
hold it.
And the thing is, sometimes I know that the Cowboys can self-inflict a penalty, but then I do.
That's a lot what we heard last year, self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah, but then I also know that there are some officials that do not like the Cowboys and will throw the flag when there's no penalty, but then the penalty will cost against us, and then the next day New York will come out and say, we're going to take that penalty back because that was not a penalty, that was not a holding. But guess what? The penalty still counts on our record at the end of the day. So that's one thing. As far as Diggs going to Buffalo,
man, look, who cares?
This is my thing, honestly.
Didn't Stephon like facing the court battle now or something?
But the thing is, Diggs is not in Buffalo. He's with.
No, he just said because he's not on the team, would he go to Buffalo? But who cares about
he said to join his brother in Buffalo. Stephon Diggs is not in Buffalo. He's still with
New England.
But honestly,
yeah, that's the Diggs bros. Now we got the coaching bros. We already got the Mario bros. Check them out, man. The body language tells you everything right here.
But honestly, I can see Diggs going to Buffalo, and I'm only saying this. I think there's something that's not being said when it comes to Damar Hamlin. I think because he really didn't play a lot last year. I think that it's something with his heart condition. I can see that. I can see Diggs coming going there, but wait a minute. Diggs played not Diggs. Damar Hamlin is safety, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he played with Cincinnati when all that went down. But anyway.
Yeah. And then it was something else. And then it was something else that happened when I was listening to Shotty. And I don't know if anyone else caught it. He said that it took a lot out of Jerry Jones to, he said, like almost like 40 interviews or something like that. Yeah. Getting ready. So when he said that he was impressed and proud of Jerry just sitting through 40 interviews, and I'm like, okay, something in my intuition is telling me that something is not right with Jerry Jones. And I'm not putting that out there, but like I said, I like to listen to what's being said. But when Shotty dropped that little nugget, I was like, okay, what's going on with Jerry Jones?
Interesting. The plot thickens, but anyway,
today I'm not putting anything out there. But
no, you're not.
But if y'all go back and rewatch,
Jerry told us that best. Read the tea leaves.
Yeah, and if y'all go back and watch the press conference again, just listen to that part again. I'm like, okay, so what are you basically saying?
Well, I like the fact he's not been out here saying anything, and it's been our coach. And now our new defensive coordinator, especially today during that interview, was very refreshing. I was curious because I was like, all right, we get to hear what Will got to say. We get to hear what Steven got to say, what Jerry got to say, and what Jerry got to say, and more what Jerry, but Jerry wasn't even there. But you heard from Christian Parker.
I told y'all that yesterday. I said it's only going to be him and Shaq.
Yeah. But for everybody not paying attention, it's got to be refreshing to have not Jerry on a microphone and let it be the leader of men. So shout out to everybody who's been tapping in here today. We're getting ready to get out of here. It's a moving target. We got our next episode, number 2, coming up. Linebacker, 7 p.m. on the West Coast. Make sure, turn on your notifications. Our guy Smack Talk will be a special guest. We're going to cover specifically the linebacker units. Make sure you get the tools, the NFL draft mock draft selector, and also NFL Draft Buzz. Those will be the 2 tools that we'll be using. I'm excited to talk about linebackers, deepest position in the draft, Kels.
Yeah, it's real deep.
We're going to get them at 20 then if it's that deep, if we don't trade back. But we'll have more to talk about that. We appreciate y'all joining us.
We could get rid of the 20th pick. We could.
I'm pretty sure that as long as we get some good right out the gate, I'm fine. Because I think everybody's got a vested interest. I think everybody's finally together on the same page, and now we got to make it look good. It looks good.
Yeah.
It'll sound good. Maybe we're just gonna need to make it look good, but we'll make it look good for y'all on Sunday. If anything doesn't break, we'll see you back in the gym on episode 2 of Linebackers. Hit it, Dandy. See y'all in the gym on the next episode.
Peace.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.